This week we dig into one of life's great mysteries. No, not how one little sticker can be so smug. I know you voted at 7 a.m., Herman, but I'm going to cast my ballot after work, if that's all right. Now, instead, we're digging into the mystery of why politicians can be so hypocritical. See, 10 Investigates reported this week that some of the folks who are literally professional votecasters, your legislators, didn't bother to cast votes when it came to picking a president. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but this year's primary was kind of a big deal here in Florida. So much so that the candidates spent countless hours in our state courting the endorsements of influential local politicians. That included State Senator Gwen Margolis and State Rep Cynthia Stafford, both of Miami-Dade County, and both publicly suggesting you vote for Hillary Clinton. Except neither one of them voted for Hillary Clinton. We ran the records, and they didn't vote at all. That's like your doctor telling you that you should probably drink a little less, then washing down that advice with a shot of Jaeger. And the news that she just found out she's pregnant. Then there's this state rep who wanted you to vote for president so badly, he endorsed two candidates. Miami-Dade's Eric Frezin endorsed Jeb Bush in the fall. Then when Marco Rubio was frantically trying to keep his campaign alive, Frezin endorsed Rubio in the spring. But he too failed to cast a ballot. And like his Democratic counterparts, Frezin failed to respond to our questions. He gets a pass on this one though, since it's clear he does believe in getting out the vote, as long as his name is on the ballot. He tweets out photos of his kids knocking on doors with him. Frezin will hashtag grateful when his family asks people to go to vote for him. And he hashtags so grateful when it's a bunch of little old ladies in Miami doing the work. But when you don't vote yourself, do you really have a right to beg others for their votes? That's like Bernie Sanders lecturing you on your haircut. Enough, you know. We've got to spend a little more time putting yourself together each morning. Not every Florida lawmaker endorsed a presidential candidate before the primary, yet we were still surprised by what we found. Tallahassee Rep. Michelle Raywinkle Vasalinda didn't cast a vote, and she too didn't respond to our request for comment last week. But after we published our story, the longtime Democrat tweeted us that she was protesting closed primaries. Thumbs down. You got me, Representative. You have a totally legit reason for not voting for president. Florida's closed primary system, which prohibits independents from voting in primaries, is a disservice to a third of our state's electorate. Except if you're a term-limited legislator making an excuse, shouldn't it be a better excuse than that you're boycotting the political system you've clearly benefited from? And if you were trying to prove a point and prompt change, wouldn't you actually need to tell someone about your boycott before this reporter called you out on it a month later? That's like getting caught looking at porn at work, then saying you've only been going to that site for the last few weeks to make sure nothing slips by your company's antivirus software. I mean, all Raywinkle Vasalinda would have had to do to get the word out about her bold stance is find a reporter to tell her story ahead of the election. You know, any reporter. Like maybe longtime Capitol reporter Mike Vasalinda, who happens to be Michelle's husband. And if that irony isn't enough, there's this. Tallahassee's newspaper of record, The Democrat, reports that the representative is now considering a run for Congress. Maybe it's a great fit after all. It's not like congressional votes matter much these days anyway. And hey, if she loses, she can always just say it was because she was boycotting Washington politics.